Hey guys! I hope that you guys are doing amazing wherever you are in the world. My name is Shikha and I welcome you to my channel. I'm so grateful as always that you guys are listening, subscribing, and commenting on my channel. I appreciate the support. In this video, I want to speak to you guys briefly, or as briefly as possible, about a question that Reeve Wallace asked me in the Facebook group that I run, the Shikha Free INFJ community. And she asked this particular question. I'm going to read the question because it's very detailed and obviously there's a lot of pain in this question. And she said, will you please do a video on the INFJs that struggle with money, the INFJs that give up on the materials of the world, including money? It's a struggle for real. Like how this type of INFJs can get past, how we'll feel about this world that makes up give up on living in the real world, as in give up on even trying to accomplish worldly stuff, even though we need these things to live in the real world. Sacrifice, sabotage ourselves just to not participate in the world because of how we feel about this evil, shitty world. Thanks in advance. So, wow, there's a lot of stuff in this video, and I know exactly how she feels or what she's going through because I went through exactly the same thing myself. For the longest time, when I was in my teenage years or in my early 20s, I felt like there was really no hope for the world. I felt like everyone was going crazy. The world is insane. There is nothing that I can do about it. There's nothing that I could possibly do that would help the world. And so the only option that seemed viable to me at the time was to give up, to pretend like I didn't exist in the world, or to pretend like the world didn't exist, and to withdraw within myself, to hide from the world, to pretend like nothing I did mattered, so why would I bother anyways, and to just basically hide in my cave. I lived with my parents at the time, and it was really easy for me to hide. You know, I went to work, of course, because I had to go to work. I went to school, of course, because I had to go to school. But I did this all as an automaton, as a zombie. I did it because it was a necessity in order to fit in with the world and to align myself with whatever everyone else was doing, because otherwise I couldn't just run away to a cave somewhere in the mountains and give up everything because it was impossible. It didn't seem like the right thing to do. Also, I didn't know which cave to go to, and how would I live in the cave like that, you know? The only other option would be to kill myself, but I just didn't. Maybe I wasn't brave enough, or it just didn't feel like the right thing to do. I still did like living. I just didn't like the world that we were living in, right? I also didn't like the obsession with money and the obsession with so many different things that seemed really useless to me. I would look at it and I think, why are you obsessed with this particular item? Why are you so focused on it? It doesn't make any sense to me. Yeah? The only way I actually got out of it, and it took me a long time to get out of it, is to realize that every person on this planet, and especially INFJs with their talents and abilities, have a role and a responsibility to give back to the world. It doesn't matter what the world itself is doing. The world itself will be terrible and will do crazy things. And no matter what part or what past you look at, if you look back, 100 years in the past or 200 years, there's always terrible, crazy, horrible things going on, right? We're actually living in one of the most peaceful times that are in the world right now. Even though there's a lot of really crazy things going on, we're still living in a very peaceful time. And even so, there's a lot of shitty things going on in the world, right? And there's a lot of things where you're like, oh my God, is this really happening? I mean, am I really witnessing this happening in the world? And you still feel like, wow, I just want to give up on the world and I want to hide in my corner. But as I've said this to you guys before over and over and over and over and over again, and I say this to myself over and over again as well, because whenever I start losing hope for the world, I try to focus on the good. And I try to focus on the hope. And hope or hopefulness is actually one of our superpowers as an INFJ. When you're an unhealthy INFJ, I think that's one of the first things that goes out the window is your hope. And your hope meter goes so down and it just completely disappears. And that's the reason you start going into unhealthy INFJ habits. And so I really want to remind you that one of the ways to counteract all of this imbalance that's going on in the world, all of this madness, is to bring back your hope meter. And the way to do this is to realize that there's always going to be crazy, stupid things going on in the world because humanity in general it's stupid. We're still very young. We're still a very young spirit or a young being in general. We're still learning about ourselves. We haven't reached enlightenment. We're not even awakened yet. We're on the path to it, but there's a lot more that has to happen before we even are able to say, yeah, we're intelligent beings. And so we're doing stupid things like a teenager would, or an adolescent, or like even I think I would say we're just like 2 or 3 years old, really. And we're just children, we're babies, we're just learning, we're toddlers. We're just learning how to live in the world, and we're making a lot of mistakes, we're falling on our faces a lot, we're falling on our bums, and we're learning from the whole process. But we're still really young as a being. And the main idea behind this is that until we finish learning and growing, we're going to keep on doing stupid things. As an INFJ, perhaps we're a little bit more advanced than others, perhaps a little tiny bit, but we're still stupid as well, and we're still young, and we're still learning, and we have to witness all of this madness that's going on around us and realize that it's just toddlers trying to learn about how to live in the world. And all we can do as perhaps a little bit more advanced in the world is to show them what they're doing wrong and how they could improve themselves, to move them closer to the goal of becoming more awakened. And that is where our hope comes from, the fact that there is a possibility of doing something little, whatever it might be, even if you're able to switch one person's perspective from hate to love, or from homophobia to being accepting of whatever it might be in the world, or of believing in hunting animals or things like that, and then moving away from that, or whatever your thing might be. If you're able to help even just one person, I think that's more than enough. And I know as an INFJ, we just want to change the world. We want to click our fingers or snap our fingers and boom, everything just fixes itself. And that's not going to happen. And it's not going to happen for a long, long, long period of time, because I said we're still just toddlers. We're still just learning. We're still really young and stupid, and we're just babies right now. We're just learning, and a lot of us do stupid things, and even INFJs do stupid things as well. So we have a lot of learning to do, and our role as an INFJ is to show the people what the path could be, because we're perhaps a little bit more awakened, and to build up our hope meter. Because if you're hopeless, you're not going to actually do anything to fix the world, right? If you believe that the world is shitty already and there's nothing that you can do to fix it, then what are you going to do? You're going to sit at home, you're going to cry and bitch about it, you're going to troll other people on the internet, and you're going to hide in your cave doing nothing useful for the world. You're not going to make any sort of impact, and then you're going to die, right? And that's the reason why hopelessness is a waste of time, because why do that? You have this precious life, right? I mean, you've already been born. Yeah, you could kill yourself, but yeah, that would be a waste as well. You've been given this precious gift, so why not use it? Instead of being like, all right, the world is shit, there's no hope left, and I'm just gonna hate the world and hate everyone in it. I think the better option there, and I know it's a very easy option to go that way. It's very easy to be like, all right, the world is shit, and I'm just gonna not participate in it anymore. But I think the reality of it is that I think it would be better, and you would feel better yourself, and you'd feel like you're making more of an impact, and you'd be able to die without regrets, I think, if you said to yourself, all right, yeah, the world is not going the way that I want it to go, but I can create a little portion of my own world in a way that I think is suitable, and I can do my own thing. I can try to make a difference in my own little way. I think of all of those people out there in the world right now who are trying being a zero waster. And so they see that like there's an enormous amount of plastic that's going into the oceans and choking the oceans and choking the animals and fishes and birds and things like that in the oceans and nearby the oceans. And even though they see all this, and it might seem like a dire situation, it might seem like it's completely hopeless, they still decide that I'm going to do my level best, and I'm going to do my own part, and I'm going to try and reduce my plastic waste and my waste in general as much as possible. Now, of course, one person is not going to make a difference, or maybe they will, who knows? But that is not the point. That's not the point of doing the work that you're meant to be doing here. It's not the fact that, okay, if I don't change 1 million lives, or if I don't make an impact on cleaning up the entire ocean, I'm not even going to bother. How is that useful? Yeah. So if you're just going to sit there and not do anything because the thing that you might do is not going to change the world entirely, then you're not going to do it. Then what is the point of your life? What is the point of you even being alive, right? Is it better for you to just be hopeless and sit in the corner and cry? Or is it better for you to think, all right, cool, yeah, maybe I won't make a difference. Maybe everything that I do is going to fall on flat ears or deaf ears, or everything that I do is going to be useless, but I'm still going to do it. Why? Because that's me. That's what I'm going to do. I'm a human being here on this planet. I've been given this gift of this life, and I'm going to try and make an impact as much as possible. Even if it's a tiny baby little impact, I'm going to do it because it's important to me. It's about me. It's about me as a human being making an impact on this planet. It's not about someone else. It's not about how many lives I can impact. It's not about how many lives I can change. It's about me doing the best that I can in this world in this moment in time. And that's all you guys can really do. You cannot focus on the entirety of this world and be like, I'm going to fix everything, because you're not going to be able to as one single individual. Maybe a billionaire could make a little bit more impact than you. But really, as an ordinary individual, it's going to be hard to make a major impact. But you can affect your family. You can affect your neighborhood. You can affect your community. You can affect your home. You can do the little things that matter, that make up a big impact if a lot of people end up doing it, right? And I've shared this with you guys before. It's better to have 1 million people doing imperfect zero wasting rather than 5 people doing perfectly. Yeah? So it's better for us to do it imperfectly, live our life imperfectly, make an impact imperfectly, try our level best imperfectly, rather than giving up on the whole situation and pretending like it doesn't matter, right? Because then it won't matter anyways. You're gonna be dead soon, and that's it, right? You've been given this life, so why not use it rather than complain and bitch about it, right? I hope this answers your question. My thing always is to have hope, right? My thing is always, even if I'm doing these videos and no one's watching, even if one person's watching, even if one person's affected, I think that's a good thing. I think that matters. It really does matter. And people message me all the time saying, you really changed my life. I'm like, good. I'm glad I was able to help at least one person today and tomorrow and the after tomorrow. Like, that's it. That's all I can really do. I'm not doing anything major here, but I'm doing the level best that I can. I'm doing what I can as an individual, okay? All right, I hope that answered your question, Viva Wallace. If it didn't, then message me back and I will expand on the topic, obviously. If you guys have any questions at all, please message me or email me rather than messaging me on Facebook or Instagram. My email address is in the description below. And also, if you guys want to support me because you like my videos or you like my mission, then obviously you can go to Patreon. Again, that link is in the description below as well. Thank you so much for your support. Thank you for all of your energy. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye for now.